Richard Sandbrook, and I'm from Science for Peace. And this webcast is a co-production of Climate Fast, Seniors for Climate Action Now, and Science for Peace. Well, that was a pretty terrific video, 1-minute video by the United Nations Environmental Program. I don't know how you responded to it, but for me, it was a matter of anger and sadness. Anger at the loss of the world I know and love, and sadness at the realization that even if all the countries who signed the Paris Agreement fulfill their obligations, we would still be on a trajectory to reach 2.7 degrees centigrade by the year 2100, which of course would be disastrous. So the goal of 1.5 degrees of warming, of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees of warming, is rapidly receding. We're likely to blast right past that goal in the 2030s if we continue with our current trajectory. So we have a major task ahead of us. Basically, what the world needs to do is to cut emissions nearly in half within the short space of only 8 years. And of course, if we don't do so, there will, as we all know, very dire consequences. Consider just species extinction, for example. The rate of species extinction is picking up, and even during the short space of this webcast, 10 species will become extinct. And that will continue to escalate as climate temperatures rise and habitat decreases. So we all know this is the background, this is the context of our webcast tonight, and we all know those kinds of facts. The question is, how does this webcast contribute to a solution to this crisis? Well, if knowledge is power, then this webcast empowers people with the knowledge on two crucial areas. The first area is an evaluation of Canada's climate record. We all know that Canada has not, by any measure, done well on climate issues in the past. But what is the nature, how adequate is Canada's climate plan today? Will we be able to fulfill our part of contributing to a 1.5 degree maximum increase in temperatures? The other issue in which we hope to empower you somewhat is on the whole issue of the COP, of the Conference of Parties. What is COP, and what is the significance of COP26 in Glasgow right now? What sort of issues are arising? So to deal with these very important two areas of concern, we have tonight, or this afternoon, a roster of 7 distinguished speakers. Now, I know that as soon as I mention the number 7, many of you will say, oh no, this webcast will go on all night. Well, it won't. We have, as I say, very polished speakers who have timed their talks very well. And in addition, your moderator here will be also holding people to that schedule. So we will finish around 5:30 or 5:35, and we will then have a time for Q&A at that point. So if you have any questions, please add them to chat. We will select the questions from Slack for the Q&A period beginning around 5:35. Now, I'll briefly introduce each panelist just before they speak. So the final thing now for us to do is for me to turn over to Lynn Adams for the land acknowledgement. Lynn.
Okay, welcome everyone. And we'd like to start with the land acknowledgement so that we recognize those people who have been on the land for thousands of years and the wisdom that they also share with us. The power of the land defenders, Indigenous land defenders, in many of the struggles across this country is making a huge contribution and is teaching a lot of us how we can do so as well. We may be in different parts of the country, so the nations that lived on the land and continue to live on the land where we are may differ, but I'll give for my own area, I will give a bit of an acknowledgement. And if you would like to put in the chat something about where you are and the nations on the land who've lived traditionally on the lands where you are, that would be perfect. That would be great. And we recognize as well that in all of our communities, we have Indigenous people from all over Turtle Island making their homes among us. And it's so important for us to respect, include, acknowledge, and support Indigenous people. So here in what could be called Takaranto, we are under Treaty 13 with the Mississauga of the Credit. And traditionally as well, we had Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe people here, Seneca, Huron-Wendat, and a number of other communities. And we honor them all in the teaching that they provide for us. Miigwech.
Thank you, Lynn.